you were bloody proud to say that you got an apprenticeship. And nowadays I feel like people are like, apprenticeship? Well, what do I want to do an apprenticeship for?
Well, we are back with the Xavier Builds podcast. This is where we talk all things building, the good, the bad, and everything we can do better. My goal is simple, to give real insight into construction, to sit down with designers, builders, tradies, suppliers, anyone connected to this industry or just passionate about what they do, and share their stories, their challenges, and their wins. Because let's be honest, construction isn't easy. It's tough, it's unpredictable, and sometimes it can feel like everything is against you. But it's also one of the most rewarding industries there is. And when it's done right, it is awesome to work in. That's what this podcast is all about. Talking about what works, what doesn't, and how we can all do better. Having real conversations, not corporate ones. Breaking down the barriers between builders, clients, and the system, and finding a better way forward together. I love hearing people's stories. I love this industry, and I love seeing people passionate about what they do. Look, before we jump in, do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button, leave a review, share it with a mate. It really helps get these conversations out there and keeps the momentum going. All right, let's jump into it.
We're back for 2026 with the Xavier Builds podcast, and I'm very, very happy to introduce Sammy Aitken, a Victorian chippy, sharing the real day-to-day struggles and everything that carpenters do, essentially. Sammy, really good to have you here, mate. Thanks for making the trip.
No, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Let's start from the beginning. How'd you get into carpentry?
Well, from the start, like during high school and that, I always knew I wanted to be a carpenter. I had a rip and trade, not trade school teacher, a tech teacher at my high school. Still remember him. I remember most of our classes. Like he was an ex-chippy himself, and he just had that passion for it. And I think he's sort of seen that in me and really sort of channeled that through me. And yeah, building projects and stuff. And probably the most rewarding part about just building stuff is, being able to do it, stand back and look at it and like, oh, I did that. Like,
yeah. And the funny thing about that is it never wears off.
No, it doesn't. If anything, over time, because the projects just get bigger and that, like it gets stronger. Like, yeah.
When you drive around, do you would definitely, I'm sure, I built that.
Yeah, my wife hates it, man.
So does my wife.
Yeah.
Okay, you've built everything.
She's like, all right, I get it.
So was there like a moment where you thought, yeah, this is for me? Would you remember was there a pivotal time where you're like, I definitely want to be a carpenter? Or did it just sort of like develop over like those years when you were at school? And was it woodwork you were doing?
Oh, mate, I'd probably have to go back to watching bloody Bob the Builder as a kid. I just always wanted to do it. There was never like a penny drop moment or anything like that. I was just pretty set on that's what I wanted to do. And yeah, how do I get there?
Do you remember your first day on site?
Yeah, I do. I reckon I fucked up more things on that first day than most people have on their first day. I remember, so I did all the way to year 12. I just had a job at Woolies, like in the produce department, like stacking shelves and that. And a good mate of mine, his old man was on the same side as my current boss now. So I've worked with that boss for 11 years now, since I was his first apprentice. So I've worked with him from day one all the way through to current day. And he gave me a call and said, Sammy, I've got a bloke here. He's chasing an apprentice, like he's run off his feet. If you want the job, I'll give you his number and whatever. I'll text him or called him or whatever. And it might have been like a Friday. And he was like, oh, do you want to start, next week? I was like, yes, I'll come right now. So I think I might have called in, maybe not called in sick, but told me boss at Woolies at the time, he was good. I was like, look, I've got this opportunity. I want to go do it. And he's like, yeah, no worries. So went over and hooked in and got there probably half an hour early and waiting out the front, nervous as shit. And, it's
a good feeling.
Yeah, we pretty much worked for him every day after that. So
I remember my first day, similar sort of setup. I went past the job site on a Sunday just to have a look at it. Yeah, we started at 7. I think I was there at 6:15, ready to roll.
Yeah. I was so nervous. I remember how nervous I was.
And what was that first year like for you as an apprentice? Are there any times in there that you really remember?
Yeah, I do. We did this job out Hepburn, which is next to Dalesford there, and it's pretty rough terrain sort of area. And we were doing these cliff top houses or whatever they were, and we had a generator on site, but they kept the generator it was like half a K up the road underneath like one of the neighbours' houses. And my boss I used to go to his house. I'd jump in the car with him, and then we'd trek out to Dalesford. He'd drop me off at this house, do a U-turn. He'd go back to the job of working out, and I had to cart this generator down the road like half a K every morning. And he'd get out the car, have a smoke or whatever while he waited for me to trundle down with this lump of a generator. And then end of the day too, like finish, packing up everything, and then off you go down there, put it back. I did that for probably every day for probably 3 or 4 months. Oh,
really?
Yeah, I remember that.
You couldn't just whack the Jenny in the back of the ute?
No, that'd be too easy. No.
Baptism by fire.
No, character building, mate.
Character building.
Yeah. You got to go through the shit to appreciate the good times, definitely.
You definitely do, yeah. And it's you got to earn your stripes,
Oh, 100% you do. Yeah.
Were there any other instances like that you remember in your first or during your apprenticeship?
I remember clipping off a lot of houses. We did a lot of like framing and stuff, still most of the stuff we do now. But yeah, I was always on the coil gun.
On the coil gun?
I definitely got it wrong a lot of times, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember first ever house I clipped off, I put all the triple grips on backwards.
Yeah.
Instead of bending them in, I bent them all out because I thought it was easier.
Yeah.
And yeah, the whole lot wrong.
So you have to go back and that.
Yeah, hand nail it all on. Yeah. Yeah.
You never forget that one.
Yeah.
You
learn the hard way.
That is how you learn, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You learn way more by getting it wrong than getting it right every bloody time.
Definitely. I think if you're not making mistakes, you're not learning, right?
Yeah, we're not pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. That's for sure.
For those people that don't know who you are, what you do, can you give us a little bit of background on that?
Yeah, well, Sammy Aitken, 29 years old, beautiful wife, 2 beautiful kids. Those are the most important things to me in the world. Close second would be carpentry, I'd say. I love my job. Mostly framing, bit of cladding, bit of fix out sort of stuff, just very concentrated in the new home space, sort of volume, smaller builder sort of stuff. Yeah.
And you've risen to prominence on social media through sharing
supposedly
some awesome content. Where did that come from?
Honestly, I pulled that one out of my ass.
That's a carpenter. That's a chippy answer.
There was no, I think I'd just seen other people doing it. And I was like, why not? My theory was if I flop and I make a shit video, no one will see it and no one will be any the wiser, and I'll keep going on with my life. And I was pretty lucky in the first couple of videos. Like they went crazy. Like 10,000 views and 10,000 followers in like the first month, and just rest is history. I just kept going with it.
Why do you think that your content has been so popular?
I think because although I was going through and doing the content, I've got a lot better at making content. But I think just because it's not polished, it's just what it is. Not everything's bougie, high-end architectural drone shots. Like, sometimes you're just nailing a stud or you're just playing a stud. It's just,
yeah, you're 100% right. I like how simple it is, and you offer these tips and tricks that are just so logical. And it's like, I see some of your content, I'm like, oh, that's 100% right.
Yeah. I feel like such a wanker saying some of the things that I say because they're so logical, and it's like, well, no shit, Sherlock. But people don't know them. And that was kind of one of the reasons why I started doing like the tradie tips, and that is because you see a lot of kids come through and it's like they miss being taught those key lessons. Like getting to site on time is a bare minimum. Like the bar's so low.
You're halfway there. Time. Yeah. Get out of bed, get to site early.
Yeah. And you'd be surprised. Like, bloody, I've been late plenty of times in my life, but it's, you wish the bar wasn't that low sometimes. But
Definitely. We're going to get into some stuff for younger people coming into the trades a bit later, but I'm really keen to get into
it. Yeah, sure. That's one of the things I'm probably most passionate about. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. I've seen you these guys with these courses. But we'll touch on that later. Who were some people that shaped you early on as a chippy? You mentioned your boss a couple of times.
Yeah, definitely my boss. I remember just like geeking out over carpentry. Like I'd go home and I'd watch like Scott Brown Carpentry and RR Buildings over in the States and that. And I just thought it was so cool, like what they do and the tools they get to work with. And
I agree.
Yeah.
You get immersed in it, and then you're like,
using techniques that you've seen from America or you've seen on YouTube on your stuff, and you're like, oh, that's a way better way to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think we were talking about this in the car. Like being a carpenter, it's funny. You can pick another carpenter.
Yeah, you can always pick a chippy in the room. Like they're usually the loudest. They're usually, something along those lines. They've got that bit of swagger about them.
Why do you think that is?
I think you just have to be a certain individual to be a chippy or be in the trades. It's just.
Do you think it's a confidence thing?
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah. I think you do inevitably have to be pretty confident to be a chippy. You have to back yourself, I think, a lot of the time. So I think, a lot of it probably stems from there.
Yeah, definitely. We're talking like if you're at the pub and you can see a chippy across the room.
Always.
Like, who do you work for? What are you doing? Where are you working at? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
What tools are you running? That's always a big one.
That's always a big one, yeah. Always a big one.
And you're Makita.
No, not
Makita.
I'll give you an exclusive. I'm now a DeWalt partner. So.
Boom! How good is that?
Yeah.
Joel's brought you over.
Don't clip that up and post it tonight. That'll get me in strife. But I've got a few people I've got to tell first.
How cool's that?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's all through Joel. Like it wouldn't have happened if I didn't know Joel. So
the DeWalt guys I've heard are fantastic. And
yeah.
You know what I really liked today about these tool suppliers and stuff like that? They are going out to people in the market, and social media, and they're doing hard work out there, and they're showing the tools that they've got.
Yeah.
And they're flushing you up with heaps of cool gear, and probably making life on site a fair bit easier, right?
Yeah, it does. It was just the DeWalt thing was very attractive to me to have essentially a factory come in behind you and say, "We've got you. Like whatever you need, you can have it. You want to try new stuff? No worries." Like yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah. Pretty excited for the opportunity. There'll be a bit of backlash.
Yeah.
A few people, think you've sold out or whatever, but the way I see it, it's no different to, your favourite football player going to a different team.
I think so.
It's
good for a change up every now and then.
Yeah. I've used a lot more DeWalt stuff than people would realise too. I've worked with people over the years that have run exclusively DeWalt, and the stuff's on it. It's great stuff.
I think so too.
Great stuff, yeah.
Look, I think everyone that's a carpenter has, some DeWalt stuff. Like I talked to Joel about the
table saw. It's just a standout. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It can't be beaten. And their big drop saw as well, I think.
Yeah.
is phenomenal.
I've heard great things about that. Yeah.
When I was an apprentice, my boss has always had the big DeWalt saw, drop saws,
Yeah.
They seem to have the most power. They're absolutely bulletproof. You could throw them in the back of the truck.
Yeah.
Throw them in the back of the ute. They pull them out, always square, ready to rock and roll,
Yeah.
And that's what you want out of a tool at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Trash it and...
Yeah. I think Makita and DeWalt are the go for a chippy, I reckon. You see people getting around with Milwaukee and,
Yeah.
I think those three, they're pretty safe options really. But
I think so too. Yeah. Don't see many Bosch. Bosch and Festool seem to be cabinet makers,
yes.
in my opinion.
Yeah. Definitely the Festool.
Definitely the Festool.
Yeah.
The Festool gear, it's just so expensive, isn't it?
Yeah. I've actually never used any Festool stuff.
Haven't you?
Anyone that's ever used it says it's the best.
It's nice.
I'll take their word for it.
It is nice.
They're usually better than me if they've got Festool, so I'll take their word.
When you're using something Festool though, you feel like you're going to break it. That's my thing.
Oh, okay.
Because it's so expensive, you're like, I've got to be really gentle with it.
Get a bit of anxiety.
It's like having a Bentley,
Yeah. You're going to treat a Corolla a bit different, aren't you? So,
that's right.
Yeah.
You got the Makita or the DeWalt. It's like the Commodore. You just absolutely smash it.
Yeah.
Then we've got a little bit off track. But yeah. So carpentry's always been the thing. You've loved it. Has there been any tough times where you're like, I'm copping it here. This is frustrating me.
Probably every winter, I reckon.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Some winters, I know we were talking about this morning, grabbing a coffee, but I've just worked with some crews over the years that have just been fantastic. And, you'll be out there, you'll be stick building in the rain, you're bending over, every fire of the gun, it's a splash of water in your face, and you're just like, fuck this, man. Can we go home? You can't feel your fingers, and you're not gonna for the rest of the day. But definitely having good boys on site, gets you through that every day. If you had a shit crew up, you'd throw in the towel, you'd go do something else.
Yeah, that culture is so important, isn't it?
It really is.
Having blokes you wanna work with each day, and and knowing that they've got your back and you know, they'll pick you up and come on, let's go. You're tired today. Big fella. You know?
Bit of a dirty bird run at lunch or something.
That's the stuff that
lift the morale. It's good. Yeah.
So yeah, I've got the next question I got is what keeps you going through the weather when the weather is cooked. But you've perfectly
that's it. That's it. It's got to be the boys. Yeah.
Let's talk about what actually drives you. Now, why do you care about your work so much? Why do you take so much pride in what you do? Tough question.
It is a tough question. I'm just thinking about the amount of people I've pissed off over the years because I've just been so anal about things, like bordering on nitpicking sort of thing at things. And in the grand scheme of things, when you look back on it, it's like, well, that doesn't even matter. But I just want things to be the best they can be. Like, I think there's just a bit of a realization too that everything we do in new home construction, usually dealing with people's hopes and dreams and everything they've ever saved for, you know, and you just want to get that right. And yeah, that's probably where it stems from. It's just, you kind of know, you know, building houses and having to pay for everything yourself over the years, you sort of realize that people are trusting you to do this the right way. And yeah, I just want to be the best I can be, I think.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's a perfect answer, I think, in that, you know, when people are buying a home or building a home, they want to know that, well, it's their biggest investment, right? And I think it's disappointing to see so much stuff on a current affair and social media about, you know, builders are doing the wrong thing or
TikTok inspectors one for that too. Like
big time,
yeah. I used to not be much of a fan of his stuff, but now I'm all for him now. I'm like, he's actually just calling it for what it is. And like, he's just exposing the side of the industry that needs to clean itself up. I'm like, good on him.
Well, that's part of the reason why I started this podcast, because he came to Canberra and rinsed, rightfully so, rinsed the builder here, but sort of rinsed, you know, what's going on Canberra and things like that.
Yeah.
And my thing was like, we got some amazing builders here. You can't throw us all in with one.
Yeah, he definitely does put everyone in the same basket, I think, but unintentionally, I think. But
I think unintentionally. He does, like, the intent is right. You know, he wants things to be better. And you know, I think if you're a trade, you've got to take it seriously in that people are investing generally their life savings or a big, massive mortgage. And they want to make sure that what they're paid for, they're getting. You know? Even
if they can, you know, you're only building with a shitty volume builder or, you know, whatever. People are going to build the best home they can for what they can afford.
That's right.
Regardless of what their budget is or whatever. So I feel like you still have that duty of care to do everything to your best of your ability, whether you're doing high end this or, you know, building the cheapest home. You know, you still want it to be as plumb as possible, as square as possible, as straight as possible. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, I think big builders and volume builders seem to get a bit of a bad rap, right?
Yeah, they do, and rightfully so sometimes.
Rightfully so. But they have their place. You know, you just mentioned about people have only got so much money, and if they want to build a new home and that's what they can afford, that's what they can afford.
Yeah.
But I don't think we should lob all the volume builders into one, because there are some that do a really good job.
Yeah. There's also, I don't know how much you've seen of it too, but this builder in this build region can operate to a completely different standard to the exact same builder, like as in a franchise or whatever, in another region. Like, you know, you build with them in this region, you might say, oh, I wouldn't. And then you go to this region, you're like, yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, so can we explain that to people that may not understand what a volume builder is, how that sort of works on that franchise model? Essentially, in my understanding, it's a builder in an area jumps on the franchise because they can get heaps of work essentially through the franchise. Yeah. That's right?
Yeah, I feel like there's two different sorts. So there might be like a big national volume builder and they'll set up an office in, you know, this major city, and then they'll inevitably have their own build regions and stuff. And whoever's at the top and the supervisors in that construction field, they might operate to a different standard and hold their trades to a different standard to, say, someone in another build region, but they're still operating under the same builders sort of thing. And then so that's sort of your national builder, and then there's other builders where you can franchise, and, you know, it's essentially the same deal, but they're not owned by the national thing. They kind of buy the rights, you know, same as, say, franchising a McDonald's or something. Like,
they'll have that area.
Yeah, and you'll look after your own house and,
go from there.
And then you kind of use that brand to bring in clients and stuff and, you know, maybe use their plans and things like that.
Go from there, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that trades need to take more responsibility for their quality of work?
So that's a difficult one because you can only do so much with what you're given, right? So if you don't get supplied with the best materials and all the rest, we can't do the best possible job. You can only work within the parameters you're given. And I feel like that's definitely a struggle I've found with doing things, because you'll do, say, a weatherboard house, right? You'll do it with one builder and they'll supply enough Sikaflex to glue every single mortal thing on that joint together, have it all sealed up beautiful. They'll want you to, face nail, bullet head, punch, and they'll pay you well to do all of that. And then you'll get another one who'll give you 2 tubes of Sikaflex for the whole job.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we're obviously only going to glue the butt joints there.
Yeah.
And but you're still doing the same task, but you've been given a completely different set of parameters to work within. So
what do you do in those situations?
Do it as the builder asks.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
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 So,
I'm in probably a bit of a niche, awkward situation where I obviously don't work for myself. I work for an employer. So I'm kind of, at best, I'm third to fourth down the line there.
Mm-hmm.
So me pushing back and saying, oh, why don't we do it this way? I've kind of go up to my boss, and my boss has got to put it to the supervisor, and the supervisor's then got to take it to estimating or whoever to,
have a look at that.
Yeah. And it's usually always a no. It's like, well, we haven't allowed for it, so we're not doing that.
Yeah. But I think it's really important to highlight that for people that maybe don't know that,
Yeah.
in that sometimes you can have the best carpenters rock up to site, but if the materials aren't right or the materials, there's not enough of them, you can only sort of do what you can do. And what else are you expected to go, pay for this stuff out of your own money to make sure?
Yeah, that's always
done.
a good one with Instagram comments and stuff. Be like, oh, why did you doing that? And it's like, well, are you going to go and pay for it? I'm not. I'm not going to ask my boss to do it, and my boss can't ask the supervisors because that's what they've given us to do it.
So what you're really saying is that builders need to take more responsibility, and they need to set the pins up better so that carpenters like yourself and other trades can come in and knock them over. And
I feel like it needs to be policed more. I feel like, which is a hard thing to say when there's already so much bullshit and red tape that, as a builder you've got to jump through. But I feel like builders have proved that they don't deserve that responsibility to look after their own house. They need to be policed more. The amount of homes and that you see with wrap just flapping around, and a brickie will come in and he'll just slap the bricks on. Doesn't matter. Windows not taped or whatever, and it's just a whole heap of who cares. Versus if you policed it, if you had to have a wrap inspection and then a pre-lining inspection, you can no longer get away with that.
Yeah. I think it's unfair as well for the builders that are doing the right thing. They are taping everything up, and they are making sure that everything's buttoned up and done correctly.
Which is all bare minimum. And to everybody's knowledge, every home should be built like that, but it's not. It's not.
Yeah, you're right. But then it comes down to, and this is speaking from a builder's perspective, what are we supposed to be doing? As a builder, your responsibility is to make sure that these things are done correctly. And I've got to put in certificates for installation. I've got to put in glazing certificates. I've got to put in frame certificates. Maybe there needs to be a certificate in there for building wraps or
I reckon you only need to add 2 or 3, and you incredibly improve the consistency of homes built. Let's say a pre-lining, a wrap inspection, and a waterproof flood test. It has to come up to the water stop in a wet area.
A lot of that stuff is going to solve so much, isn't it?
In theory, if you shouldn't have a home leak in a bathroom ever again, unless it fails over time.
That's where all the issues generally happen. The big ticket issues I see are in waterproofing.
Yeah, it's all to do with water. So water's the killer of all homes,
all construction.
All construction. Yeah, you get a wrap inspection done. It's not coming in.
Mm-hmm.
You get that internal inspection done. It's not going to leak.
Yeah,
not much can go wrong.
They are putting stuff into the NCC to make that, to try and regulate their way out of these issues. But I think as a builder, we need to take more responsibility for that stuff, and we need to take a closer eye on it. But I do see some builders out there that are just and it's difficult for the guys that are doing the right thing to see this. You just see them doing all the wrong stuff, and you're just the TikTok inspector, the spot fixing in the tiles. It is just so it's so stupid they do that.
If you spot you're going to get pinned for that.
I know
at some stage.
It's not even that. It's not even that much of a time saver. you know, like to spot fix it.
I've never laid a tile, so I couldn't tell you, but it's just
it probably takes you an extra, I don't know, 10 seconds per tile.
Yeah.
But it's just
seems like a hectic shortcut to take, considering the risk.
That's what I mean. You know, it doesn't make sense to me when there's all these little shortcuts that have been taken. But I do feel like, you know, as a builder as well, like we're so caught up on paperwork and building like, you know, trying to get the thing approved.
Yeah.
That we sometimes forget that we still have to manage the project on site.
Yeah. See, I come from the perspective where I don't have to do any of that. I'm just the bloke on site doing the job. So it's, you know, it's all well and good for me to say, oh, we should inspect this and that.
Yeah, but I think
it doesn't really affect me.
Yeah. I think it's good to have a conversation like this though, because you can see both. I can see your perspective 100%, but it's good to share the perspective, I guess, of a builder as well. That's sort of saying, well,
at the end of the day, it's just more shit you got to do.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
There's a lot on your plate as a builder, and I'm not saying, not bringing up excuses, but I'm saying that sometimes our focus gets taken away on everything else, you know, other than just getting the job done correctly.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then you see these builds that just take, you know, 18 months, and it's just like, in my mind, I can understand why it takes so long, but it shouldn't take that long.
Yeah.
You know, like you can put up a frame in a day. You know, you can wrap and put the windows in pretty quickly as well, you know, and then what have you got to come in after that? You've got your chip rockers and everything else.
Yeah.
So I think if you can get things lined up, but it comes down to the fact that we don't have enough trades, right?
No.
What are you seeing in the industry what else are you seeing in the industry that is an issue?
I reckon
What do you think the biggest challenge with chippies is right now?
probably finding good young people. There's a difference, like there's a huge difference between finding someone that'll do and someone that, you know, as someone who is passionate about the industry, you see that spark in them, like they're few and far between. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when I got an apprenticeship, and I feel like I got an apprenticeship on sort of the tipping point of maybe kids going down the route that they are nowadays. But when I got an apprenticeship, like you were bloody proud to say that you got an apprenticeship, you know? And nowadays I feel like people are like, apprenticeship? Well, what do I want to do an apprenticeship for? You know, it's just a completely different mindset, and it just baffles me because I remember when I got an apprenticeship, I rang everyone, I told everyone I was so proud.
Yeah.
I was like,
I was the same.
I'm a carpenter.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a carpenter. Like, how cool is that?
Why do you think it's changed like that?
I think there's just easier ways to make money now. And, you know, not going to sugarcoat it. You know, you go stand on a checkout at Woolworths, you don't need to bring your own cash register. You don't need to, you know, do all that. You know, you're a carpenter, you're expected to have your own tools and everything and work for less. But I think you got to think long game with it. But, you know, as much as I love it, it's very hard to think about the long game with anything. You know, if you can have it now, why wait?
That's right. I think it's that fast money that the young people are attracted to. They want it now. They see it on Instagram. They see, you know, their friends maybe doing this or that or the other.
I feel like we've all become very impatient with just how far technology has advanced over the years. You know, it's we have everything at our fingertips now. If you want to know everything, you can find it out now. Like you don't have to wait. You don't have to. You know what kids these days need? They need dial-up internet. You need to wait your turn to go on there. You need to hear that stupid tone ring before you can do bloody anything. You know, you need the phone to ring and say, "Mum, don't answer that." You know,
I'm downloading something.
They need to learn a bit of patience, I reckon.
I think so too. Yeah. But you know, I've spoken about this before, but a hard day's work is so good for you in that the end of the day, you're physically wrecked and, you know, you can look back and see what you built.
Yeah.
And that's just a really cool feeling. And I'm sorry, but you can't get that by sitting playing games.
No.
Or, you know, you can't get that by working behind a checkout. You know, you can't get that through, you know,
I feel like being a
online
chippy is just the ultimate job satisfaction.
I think so too.
Yeah.
You can see what you've achieved at the end of each day.
Yeah.
I think when I first sort of came off the tools and came into the office, I found that really, really difficult. Still today, I struggle with it.
Yeah. Everyone that's off the tools says that. Like they struggle with it.
Yeah.
I was talking with Joel recently about it and he was like, I hate it.
Yeah. It's probably like it's good, but it's also really, really frustrating and annoying. Like having to go out, you know, and say set my guys up on site and the music's pumping
It's a sick job.
The vibe's high.
Vibes high, and then you've got to go back into the office and send emails out, or do this.
What a crusher!
That. It's a crusher, you know. I've been out there and seen the boys with the shirts off on the roof.
Getting it.
I'm like, oh my god, I want to be right in the middle of that now. Just looks so fun, and the day goes so fast. That's the thing I want to I want young people to experience and get into.
Same, yeah.
That team.
I've just got this hunger for it. I just love it. I just love it.
It never gets old, that thing.
No. Don't get me wrong. Everyone has your days. You have your days with everything you do, but there's just this constant hunger that I just want to get in and amongst it. I just want to do it. I just want to build some shit.
I'm getting deed up right now.
Yeah. Let's go.
But what's the vibe like in Melbourne around carpentry and building at the moment? Sorry, not Melbourne. In Victoria.
Yeah. So our build region's Ballarat build region. Look, you're either in Ballarat at the moment, you're either flat out or you don't have much work, and it's not really relative to whether you're good or not. Like I know plenty of people that are good that are quiet, and plenty of people that probably should be quiet and they're not. They're flat out busy. So it's
inconsistent is what you're saying.
Yeah, for some. We've got our eggs in a fair few different baskets, which is nice. It's also a bit of a pain in the ass because they usually all say yes at the same time.
Yeah.
And then you could do with another 8 blokes if you could, and so.
Don't you think that's weird that there's some people that aren't, say, flat out now when we're supposed to be in a housing crisis. We're supposed to be building all these homes. And that's the weird thing that I can't really understand at the moment is that everyone, it seems like construction's on the news like every night about building approvals and how this is and how that is, and we're trying to build all these homes, but you've got these guys, and it's even here in Canberra that they're not super busy.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense to me.
I think it's just capacity. Like it doesn't matter. Like if you only have the capacity to do so much, that's your ceiling. Like you can't just suddenly increase your capacity and pull it out of thin air. Like you got to have the boys. It's not just even having the manpower. Like I've worked on crews with only 3 blokes. We've got as much done as crews with 6.
Yeah. Like what's been the difference there? Knowledge or just the boys you're working with? Or?
Usually experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is usually, I know blokes that would prioritise having 3 qualified carpenters over having 2 qualifieds and 4 apprentices,
Just getting through more work with less guys.
Yeah.
Seems like an easier formula.
It's probably just less mistakes, I think. Mistakes are obviously costly.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Do you deal with many bottlenecks with approvals down in Victoria?
No, I don't.
Do you experience any of that?
I don't see any of that.
You don't see
that side of things, no.
You're just up on site, ready to go. Let's get the frames up.
Yeah.
Let's get the cladding on.
Yeah,
to go.
That's my shit.
Just all the cream.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Is speed beating quality these days, do you think?
It's definitely something that people would prioritise highly over. I think from a client's perspective, you're going to still have clients that want quality, but I think speed is definitely what people would rather. Because I think everyone sort of sells that, we're all the same, And to be fair, we do a lot of homes where we know they're just put together as cheaply as you can possibly build a house, and they paint up beautiful. It's frustrating. It's like this nearly looks the same as something that's 200 grand more.
Yeah.
And it's just been built to the minimum spec. Yeah.
I've worked I did a frame for a volume builder years ago, and I wanted to batten the ceilings, and they're like, no, straight to the trusses. And I was like,
yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Like, that's pretty common.
Yeah. Screwing the gyprock straight to the trusses. I'm like, that's going to crack. That's surely.
Yeah.
But
they're allowed to do it, so they do.
They're allowed to do it. Yeah. And it came up. Yeah, as you said.
Yeah.
Looked good.
Looked fine. Yeah. You wouldn't know. But then that's that whole element of, a better quality product just completely removed. But to the naked eye, and even if I couldn't tell you if this ceiling's battened or not, if it was plaster ceiling, you have no idea. Yeah. Just it's interesting. I'd like to see that home, now, sort of 10 years after. Or maybe you wouldn't like to see that home.
Yeah. What's your take on, I think I know the answer to this, but steel frames over timber?
I hate steel I just hate working with it. I've heard a lot of negatives about the thermal capacity of steel, but I don't actually know it. I haven't done my research. It's just, I've seen stuff on Instagram and that people saying similar things about it. I had a mate when I was younger. His parents had a steel frame home. It's all loud as shit in summer. It'd just be creaking and popping and
Yeah. I think when you're a carpenter, you want to work with timber.
Yeah. I think that's the very essence of being a carpenter is working with timber.
Yeah.
I don't feel like anyone becomes a carpenter to
work with
deal with light gauge steel sheet metal. You know, if you want to do that, probably be a roofer.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. The thermal thing for me is probably a big one.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just feel like they're taking the soul out of the home sometimes when they're running out of steel.
Yeah. You haven't got that flexibility too. Like you probably couldn't build custom stuff with steel without a lot of foresight. You know, making changes on the fly. I feel like that's a mission with steel. You know, you want to move a door over.
Yeah.
It's an easy task with timber. It'd be a nightmare with steel, wouldn't it? Yeah.
You see it on the block and I'm like, they're really pushing it hard on the block. I'm like, no, I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, they get it for free. I'd be pushing it too.
Yeah. I see that like they do the curved arches. That'd be so much easier with timber.
Yes.
Just put timber in there.
Yeah.
Like, what
are we doing?
I do think there is a place for steel. I think in offices and stuff like that.
Yeah, commercial spaces, sure. Makes a lot of sense.
It goes up so quickly and, you know, it obviously doesn't have the effect that it doesn't get affected by the heat as much, so you don't have that creaking and cracking.
Yeah.
But for people that
horses for courses, I think.
Horses for courses for sure. But it seems like there's a few volume builders that are really pushing the steel as well.
Yes. Yeah.
You reckon that's a price factor? Is steel
I wouldn't
cheaper?
know if it's cheaper or not. Not too sure. They seem to be able to build a cheaper home, so I would assume. It is, but I feel like sustainability wise, you know, steel, you can't renew steel really unless you're pulling the homes apart and recycling them and everything. Like,
yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think we talk about sustainability. What a lot of people maybe not know is that plantation forests, you can plant, you know, all this treated pine, log it, you know, put it into a house, and then you're back on again, you know. So some people look at it like building homes as in it's not really that sustainable, but I would suggest that if you're building a timber frame home, way better for the environment than say a steel frame.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Way easier.
Renewable.
Renewable, definitely.
Yeah. And it stores carbon. I think there's a lot of positives to it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Where are we up to here? I wanted to go. Let's talk about the young tradies these days. I saw you put up recently. I think about the tips for young carpenters coming onto site for the first day.
Yeah.
Have you experienced a few young guys or girls turning up?
Man, we've had some doozies of people rock up, and you know that they all mean well, but I feel like maybe if I can voice this, and if a couple of people pick it up, and you know that helps them along their journey, then great. I'll keep speaking about it. You know, I feel like being in a position that I'm in, I kind of have a due diligence to speak about these things and just sort of call it how it is. Like this is stuff that I've seen in the past before. I reckon 3 or 4 years ago, we would have gone through 50 trial kids and all of them just useless. Like if you're coming to work on a first day with a boss, like you bring your lunch. If you don't have the means of transport to go and get it, like you bring your lunch, you bring a water bottle. If you're going to be a carpenter, for Christ's sake, bring a hammer, bring a tape measure. Like what capacity do you think you're going to work in on a building site if you can't swing a hammer or you can't mark a length, you know?
Do you think we need to lower our standards though to try and get more young people in and then teach them like the things that...
What do you mean by lower standards? I feel like we're already pushing the bottom. What's acceptable.
I get you, but like I don't think that, you know, some young people these days, you know, maybe changed a tire or mown a lawn or, you know, worked outside at all ever. So I guess what I'm getting at is like, should we just try and be more supportive in these?
Just to make it more open for people to be accessible to.
I think so.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I've never really looked at it like that. I've kind of always thought, you know, if you want to be a carpenter,
you're in it. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But I've thought about this and I'm like, well, maybe we just need to be a bit more supportive to these young people coming in.
Is that maybe what a pre-app's for though?
True. That is true.
Yeah. Like maybe if you are that green, but you do have an interest in it, maybe that's what a pre-apprenticeship's for. Mm-hmm. I feel like the pre-apprenticeship system fails them a little bit too. Like we've had plenty of these people come in from a pre-apprenticeship thing and they won't rock up with any of this. Like, what are you teaching them there? Like, what are you? Yeah.
So pre-app would probably be like a school-based apprentice. Is that what
Yeah, I did a pre-apprenticeship in school in year 10 and 11. I used to jump on a bus and run over to Ballarat to the uni there and do an afternoon of, it was building construction cert 2 or something. It might have been, I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, so
we did that, and it just sort of taught you the fundamentals of
what you needed.
Yeah.
I agree with you that what are these other places doing? Because we've had the same thing. But I think what I'm trying to say is that should we be lowering our standards and being like, well, we've got to just bring these young people in and we've got to teach them all this stuff. We've got to teach them all the stuff that we assume that they've known up until that point. You know what I mean?
It's hard, isn't it? Because you forget what it's like. No matter how hard you look back at it, you always forget.
And I think that's the point I'm trying to make is that sometimes we get so caught up on getting things done fast, turning up prepared. Maybe we've got to just be like, well, the whole that saying that we probably say now. I know I do. Back in my day, when I turned up,
not quite old enough to hang off that one yet, but yeah.
But it's definitely changed, and young people are turning up definitely not prepared, not understanding what carpentry is.
I'd sort of counter that and say that I don't want people in the industry that don't want to be here.
Mm-hmm.
If we've got to lower our standard and open up the door that wide to let people in, that's just a struggle to drag them along to something that they're not really passionate about, not really interested in. I feel like carpentry is one of those things where, or just the trades in general probably, where you've got to have some sort of a love for it. So it's just not worth doing. Like you can go and do other jobs that, have high incomes and whatever, but I don't think there'd be too many people that work in a mailroom that can tell me that they love working in a mailroom,
Yeah. No, I think that's a really good perspective actually. Because being a tradesman, you turn into a craftsman.
Yes, and that's the goal.
That is the goal.
That is the goal, yeah.
And a craftsman to me is, I call them operators as well. They turn up, everything happens really easily for them because they're prepared, they're organised, they know what the job is, they know how to get it done before they've even seen the site generally. And I think that's what you're working towards. But if you don't have that passion for construction before you enter the construction industry, you need to find it really, really quickly, or you need to step aside and go do something else.
Yeah, and I feel like it's okay. I know we talk about, how we're going to build all these homes and we need more trade. I mean, if it only ends up being this big, well, that's as big as it is. That's our capacity, We'll work within that. I would rather have a core group of people that are passionate about it than just have this massive industry of people that don't give a shit. I feel like we're going to get more done in that smaller circle than, bringing in whoever and whatever that don't really care about it. I mean, labor-intensive jobs that don't require much passion and that, they'll always have a place. But I feel like at the heart of it, it just needs to be people who give a shit.
Do you think we're going that way at the moment? We've got too many people that are, I think if you look at how many builds have gone so wrong with the TikTok inspector, I think we have probably let too many people in that maybe aren't passionate about it. Just slap it in onto the next one.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Agree. Yeah.
If you reduce the quality, you dilute the outcome.
Yeah, diluted's the word. Yeah, you just dilute it. If you introduce enough poison to the industry, then it just kind of fizzles out and then no one cares.
That's when you have people getting ripped off, people getting subpar work being done, no care, no responsibility. That's all the things that we want to, I guess, stamp out of the industry. We don't want those things in there, right?
Yeah.
Because they just make our jobs harder,
Yeah, and because all you do is you just go back and forth. Let's just do it right.
Have you ever had to come in and fix a frame from another?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember this one, we had to fix this valley and it was a doozy, man. Like it had like 100 mil hump in it. Like I don't even know how they did it.
Really?
It was wild. Yeah, it was all roofed and everything. Like it had
all roofed?
Yeah. Yeah, it was like the house was like a volume builder. They were moving through it.
Yeah.
And like, no, we'll fix that up later. Yeah, I had to come in and pull a heap of roof sheets off, and it was actually a really simple fix. I don't know how they got it that wrong. But
why do you think that stuff happens? Do you think it is that diluted industry? Do you think it's lack of care? Do you think it's lack of knowledge?
I think that's supervisors just keeping the jobs moving, I think.
Get that next payment.
If you need to get a framer in that's not done work for you before, well, you take that risk,
Cop it on the back end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point, you'll be able to back charge them or something or, yeah.
That's frustrating. That's really frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, for us, it's whatever.
Money.
We'll come and, come and fix it. We'll do it.
Yeah.
Charge us through the roof for it. But,
Literally.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And reworks just cost, 10 times the amount to fix on, after it's been, if you don't catch it early,
I was thinking about these homeowners. Like, imagine building a home and then seeing it get to this stage and then you drive past one day and they're pulling the roof off it. What the hell? Like, yeah.
I'd be upset.
Yeah.
I'd definitely be upset.
I don't know who you'd be calling, but you wouldn't be sitting there and going back to work. You'd be trying to follow that up.
100%.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that, even with some of my clients, they don't do enough research before, committing to they're not aware. They don't know what they're looking for. They haven't gone and checked, say a builder's profile or checked out his other work or seen, his quality.
Yeah.
And then
some people are just very good salesmen.
That's right.
It's, and that is part of the game. It's,
when the TikTok inspector came here and sort of rinsed that builder, I was like, my first thing was, what has the client, what has happened with the client? What have they said? What, surely this builder hasn't just gone, put the wrong facade on, put the wrong this or put the wrong that.
Yeah.
You would think that they've had a chat with the client or tried to look at reducing prices. I don't know. But my first thing goes to, when I build, I want to do the best I possibly can for the client. Like that's my first goal. It's really detrimental to my profit line sometimes.
Yeah.
But I look at it like, you want to do the best job you can for everyone you work for, because if you do a bad job, that word gets around about that bad job and,
spread quicker than a good word.
Exactly.
Sure. Absolutely.
And your reputation can be blown over one bad job.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I wish more trades took that, on board as well in terms of doing quality work.
Yeah. I feel like there's definitely a mindset that, if you work for a cheap builder, you just get it in, get it out. If it's within 5 mil, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's like, no. I would like to think that if you come to any job that I've ever done, it wouldn't matter if I was working at this end of the table or this end of the table, every wall you've found that I've plumbed is bang on. Every wall's dead straight. It doesn't matter. Like the standard doesn't drop because the client is a different client. I feel like that should be. Yeah.
Have you noticed, you've already mentioned about different build qualities through different builders you work for. Do you take extra care on the ones that are a bit rough?
Extra care as in
try and do a bit more? I don't know. Like, the frames have probably been sitting there for 2 months and it's going to be a bit annoying on the pre-sheet,
Yeah. No, look, I'd probably approach everything the same, to be honest. Yeah.
Keep that same standard across the board.
Yeah. It's just to the best of my ability. That's the standard I like to hold myself to.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Getting on the socials. Let's talk about that in detail. So what made you first do it? Was you just wanted to have a crack and get into it?
Just had a go. Yeah. Yeah. There wasn't really a thing where I was like, I wonder if I can do this or I wonder if I can monetize it or like, it was never anything like that. It was just, I think if you had to put it onto something, you'd probably say I just loved it and I wanted to share it.
Yeah.
It's kind of the essence of social media, is sharing the things you love.
What's been the most surprising thing that you've sort of found with putting all your work online?
The community that's been, developed around it. Like I've got so many people that from all over the country that I talk with most weeks, and it's just nothing but support. And you got people in your corner, and you're talking very social media, but like brand deals and collabs and stuff, and they're just happy to see you win. Like they just want to see you do well. They love what you're doing, and they just want to see more of it. And they just push you along. And without the support of those people, like this thing wouldn't have gone half as far as what it ever has.
What does that support look like? Are you calling them up and saying, hey, I'm dealing with this issue at the moment? Or is it, what are you doing today? Or
support would be like, a brand might reach out or something and want to do something. And I'll know that this person's worked with them in the past, and I'll, reach out to them and be like, oh, hey, what would they like to deal with? And they might say, run, do not work with them. Or they might say, no, they were awesome, man. Like they were really, really good. And, these are the other opportunities that come from it as well. And
has there been a few runs, don't deal with them?
Yeah. Had to figure that out for myself. Can't name names, obviously.
Yeah. But is that just like they want too much from you, or is it like they just how you say this script, or is it what does that look like?
Some of them want you to say so much that you're like, I'm not going on a camera and putting my face against it and saying that. I do not know that to be true. You know, like it'll be a product and they'll be like, I want you to say, like in the script will be a set of deliverables and it'll be like, you have to say it's reliable and hardworking. And it's like, I've got this thing for a week. I have no idea if it's reliable. Like I'm not saying that, you know, so.
You don't want to sell people down the river.
Yeah. I'd rather, you know, I feel like with the influencer side of what I do, it's more just bringing products to the market to make people aware of them rather than being like, this is the best, I love this. Like I'd never say that unless I'd actually use something for a long time.
Yeah, it's good. It's good that you stand behind that stuff.
Yeah. I feel like your reputation's everything. And I don't want to have a reputation where, you know, someone buys something off the back of my word and it fails them. And I go, I can't believe that it happened. Like I couldn't.
Yeah, that's where it comes into the scam sort of stuff.
It is.
You know,
it is, yeah.
I think there's a big problem with that on social media now, that people are pushing this and pushing that and saying this and saying that. And, you know, being a consumer or on the other side of it, you trust certain people. And, you know, I think it's really good that you're standing on your morals there and being like, you know, I'm going to thrash this. And
kind of want to stand on business a bit with it. I don't want to, you know, it's hard. You have some heavy hitters drop into your DMs and want to do some stuff and you just got to walk away from it because it just doesn't align. You know?
Do you cop much flack? Cop much shit?
I cop enough flack. Honestly, way less than what I probably expected to cop. Yeah. The support's been the overwhelming thing. I didn't know that this was going to be so, you know, there was going to be such a community and such a group of people that have your back and support you and
want to see you win.
Yeah. And I'll get a message from a kid and he'll be like, you're the reason why I'm doing carpentry. Like I love watching your videos. I watch them every day. How cool is that?
That's awesome.
Like, that is so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get messages like that once a week.
Oh, really?
Oh, at least. Yeah. Sometimes if you're a little bit more active and stuff, you'll get, you know, a lot more engagement and stuff. But yeah.
What's your first, do you get a lot of people reach out to you and say, hey, I'm thinking about carpentry? Like, give me some tips?
Yeah. They'll reach out and they'll be like, you know, I'm thinking about doing a trade and, you know, I see what you do. It looks awesome. You know, like what's some pointers for me? And, you know, because I've got this library of content that I've built up to, I'll be able to, you know, send them this that I've said in the past. And do you use voice chats at all?
A little bit, yeah.
It's like
I hate listening to my own voice though.
You get used to it when you do what I do, but it's like a life hack.
Yeah.
You just, and people appreciate it so much. Like, wow, you gave me, like a voice chat will go for 4 minutes. You know, giving someone 4 minutes of your time, like it's nothing. And they're so grateful for it. They're like, wow, I didn't even think you'd respond. I'm like, what do you mean you didn't think I'd respond? Like I'm just a person. Like you've asked me a question, I want to answer it.
I think, but even when I was talking to you, I was like, oh, this is a busy guy, you know. Maybe, you know, we'll see what he has to say. I didn't want to like message you at annoying times. But you're always like straight back onto me. I'm thinking, I saw you reel the other day. You're building a frame or doing this or doing that. You know, how does that work on site? Are you just?
It was very difficult at the start. I was very not obsessed over the social media thing, but it definitely took a lot longer to integrate it into what I was doing. And I felt a bit guilty because obviously I'm on my boss's dime. Like I don't want to sort of take the piss, you know? So you just sort of, it actually becomes very efficient in terms of you just set it up and, it's not a tripod, it's a fucking stick thing. And, you know, you just move it here, you move it there, move it there. And the footage might go for an hour and 20 minutes. And later that night, I'll compress that down in like a 40-second reel.
What camera do you use?
Just my phone. Everything's on my phone. Man, you should have seen the ghetto as tripod I used to have. I used to just we call it, a couple other boys, we take the piss out of it. But it was just 3 gun nails. There was 2 gun nails there and 1 slightly behind, just so it like...
like a timber setup?
Yeah. If you'd be able to see where I've been filming something because you go into this room and there'd be 3 nails on this noggin and 3 nails over here. And what the fuck's he been doing in here?
The chippy solution.
Yeah. I did that for about 12 months.
Yeah.
Worked
pretty well. Now you got a tripod you pull around.
Yes. Yeah. Which is, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get some funny looks sometimes. Yeah. It's all right.
Yeah. That is funny.
That is funny. What would you say to someone that wants to get into content, and wants to start, sharing their stuff online?
I would say, I get asked this a little bit by a few different people, but I would say just be you, whatever that is. If you're a boring person, so be it. You're a boring person, man. You are what you are. Like, I would consider myself a pretty vanilla, boring person, to be honest. I don't really have a particularly interesting story or anything like that. But normal people are also just, it's like when you go down the city or something, from country, in the city, you're just people watch. You're just interested to see what people are doing in their regular lives. Like, it's all actually pretty interesting stuff.
Well, you tell really cool stories in all the content you put out.
Yeah.
Like you definitely learn something. Like at the end of your videos, you're always learning something or you're always seeing something cool.
Yeah. I love that. I love that because, if I can help just, 1% of my audience.
Well, you already have. And I think what your content does is we want to get more young people into construction. I think what your content is doing is sharing what that's like.
Yeah.
I think that's so important because everything's visual now. Everything's visual. They want to see what it is before they jump into it. You know?
I think if I had a message with my content, it would be, I want people to love what they do. I want people to love what they do.
It shows through in your stuff so much. Like it shows that you're so passionate. It shows that you love it. It shows that, it's what you want to do. And I think that's, again, why people just love it so much. Because seeing, like, when you talk about carpentry, you're just like up here,
Yeah.
And I love, and what I've learned through the chat, just like so far, is that you got these standards that you're not compromising on. And I think that
non-negotiables that my boss hates.
Yeah, but that's important. That's really, really important. And I think more people need to take that on board and develop their own standards.
Yeah. I feel like you got to hold yourself accountable. I feel like accountability is a huge thing that people sort of push to the side. You got to be responsible for it.
You do.
I'll fuck stuff up all the time, but it's about how you go about fixing it and managing that and identifying it and knowing what to do when you do get it wrong. It's, your life can't just be a highlight reel.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
The content that we've done for my businesses, the best videos are when we fuck something up and we're telling people about how we're fixing it.
Yes, people love to see that.
They do.
That's a human experience. I think that's what people like to, like
100%.
Yeah.
Do you feel responsible for showing the real side of the trade, like now? Because you've got a bit of a following now and everything.
Yeah. I definitely feel a bit of pressure with it now to deliver what's accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
That's one of the hard things, I think, that when you're putting yourself out there, that so many people have a different way of doing things.
There's so many ways to do it. And, I actually think the most narrow-minded people are the people that'll, jump in your comments and say, oh, that's not how you do it. It's like, no, that's not how you do it.
Correct.
It can be done this way. Your way probably is better. That's fine. But this is the way I'm doing it. You know what? That is what it is.
I'm just sharing a way to do something. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people sometimes confuse, probably a lot of trolls or haters or whatever, confuse my videos with like, this is how. I'm like, nothing of mine is like, this is how I'm doing it. And it's completely like, I love those discussions where people will say, oh, hey, why don't you do this? Or something. It's like, why don't I do that?
There's a lot of people today that walk around with the glass full and they can't accept any other way to do things or, and I think that's a shame. I think
it is. Absolutely it is. Yeah. Especially with how technology advances and helps us in this day and age. It's like things are only actually getting easier. Like everything we do is getting easier.
And I think also like being a carpenter, one of the best things about it is you're always learning.
Yeah.
Like it never ends.
No, you can't no one clocks carpentry, you don't. You don't finish it. You keep learning,
I think that's probably why I love it so much as well, in that there's so many different aspects to it.
It's the growth thing. You can just keep growing. There's no ceiling.
And you'd probably see this, you have a carpenter, apprentice from the first day, till when they're signed off, and they change as a person so much.
Yeah, they do.
Like it's I talk about, some of the young brand new apprentices that we have come in, like I've got to teach them how to answer the phone, hello, so-and-so speaking, then you say your name, and then like.
That's all stuff I like to learn too.
From that to in the end, like the way that they walk, the way that they talk, the way that they, communicate on site. Like it's really cool to see.
Yeah.
The progression over the 3 or 4 years that they're an apprentice.
Yeah.
Have you got any stories for young guys that have come in, say, troubled at the start and then turned out to be bloody awesome in the end?
We've got an apprentice at the moment, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind me talking about this, but when he did a trial week with us, and my boss was away at the time, so it was just me, and he rocked up like Monday, Tuesday, and then the Wednesday he had a funeral, and then he just did a no-show Thursday, Friday. Just no call, no show. Like, he was just done.
Dogged it.
And then about 2 or 3 months later, the pre-apprenticeship place said, I've got a good kid for you. His name's such and such. And my boss was like, so we've already given me this kid. And turns out he was the bloke that did no call, no show and didn't turn back up. Anyway, come for another week, and he was actually really good. He, I don't know, pulled something out of the woodwork, and he was pretty good. And then for a while there, he was late, like every day, like 15 minutes late, 10 minutes late, like just day on day on day on day on day. We ended up bringing in this rule that, righto, you got to start 20 minutes early until such time as you're either not late again or whatever. So, and he's stuck with it. I don't reckon he's been late a day since. And that was like 2-3 years ago. Yeah. So it was a bit one of those sort of learn the hard way ones. But yeah.
I get him to call me on the phone at 7 o'clock and put me on the phone to someone else that's on site.
Yeah. Good way to call it out. Yeah. Go and prove it.
or the other thing I've done, which is they get the picture after the first one, but if I'm onto them, I'm like, look, if you're late, I'm going to just send you home unpaid. And that normally sorts
I mean,
it out
people are late. It's okay. As long as it's not like twice a week. That's taking the piss. You're just undisciplined at that point.
Yeah, the late thing is not the issue unless it becomes an issue over time. I think 15 minutes late each day, it's like...
I feel like when it goes unchecked.
When it goes unchecked,
yeah, that's when it becomes a problem, which obviously comes from us as being, somewhat... Because at the end of the day, you also got to teach them stuff outside of carpentry too.
Yeah.
Like, being on time is a valuable thing. If you can be reliable, if I know that, time goes on and I've got this bloke who wants a hand, I know I can send him you, and I know that he's going to rock up when I said he was going to rock up.
Yeah.
It just extends beyond just coming to work on time,
One of the things I like to talk about is, especially with tradies, is that do you remember a moment in your apprenticeship or towards the end of apprenticeship, generally it is, or, it can be the year after, where it's like a switch goes off and you're like, I know how to do everything now.
There was. I can't tell you the exact thing, but I feel like it was over like a 2-week period. I went from feeling like I had to be explained everything to I just got it. It was it was probably about in my third year sometime. I was just, went from being not important to all of a sudden getting asked the questions. It's like, it's this sort of,
Every carpenter I talked to has the exact same thing.
It's like, just a light bulb moment.
It's the light bulb moment. Yeah, I know how to do everything now.
I've had a couple of kids come through and even people online that'll message me and they'll be like, I'm in my 4th year and I feel like I'm not a 4th year. Like, I feel like I'm always forgetting things. I'm always having to ask simple questions. I'm like, I can't explain it, but you'll just get it one day. You might not get it till you've been qualified for 2 years. You might get it next week. But one day it'll just click and you'll be off.
You'll be off. That's exactly the best way to explain it. And you can't really explain it to someone that
needs to be studied. We need to know what this is. Yeah.
I don't know. I think as well, thinking about my apprenticeship, there were periods in there as well where I really doubted my confidence. I was like, second guessing everything, double checking every measurement, and it's like, I remember that that sort of went away and then I was, and then you get into this rhythm.
Yeah.
And then just bang, you're on.
Yeah.
What would you say to a young apprentice that's probably down on their confidence a little bit? How do you bring them back up and dust them off and get them going again?
Asking the big questions now.
I am.
You just need to work out what your reset is and whether that's you need a bit of time off or you need to go back to doing some basics. You need to go back to, I don't know, let's say in a framing scenario where you probably have the person who's most competent and responsible on the level, and, you know, they'll be the ones reading the plans and stuff. You know, maybe you just need to take a step back and you need to be the one on the chalk line and, you know, doing the ceiling trimmers or stuff like that. Just sort of go back to basics is what I reckon. And I feel like carpentry is very much a progression through your learning. Like, you have to know how to sweep a floor before you know how to stand a truss. You know, like there's a bit of a rite of passage there and some boxes that you have to tick. And I feel like if you're just getting a bit far ahead and you feel like you're struggling or whatever, maybe just go back a bit, make yourself a little bit less important just for a while.
Drop into number 2.
Just work on your fundamentals. And I feel like the rest is sort of, it comes with it.
Build that back up.
Yeah. Get your base level, you know, your foundation right. And then, you know, you might need to revisit that, you know, 6 times in a year.
Yeah.
So be it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Each time you come out of that, you're probably pushing a bit further, and, you know, stack it up over enough time and you'll get there.
Don't be so hard on yourself and take it easy. And you can get into that mindset of overthinking everything. And I think that's when you need to, you
take a step back when it gets to that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to really tone it back.
Even
you need to have someone catch you.
The negative spiral.
Yeah.
We have a few of those happen sometimes, don't we, Ross? And I think as well, like, knowing that, you know, you don't have to be at 100% 365 days a year. You can sometimes take a step back and, you know.
I think people forget that there's days that you work at 150%.
Yeah.
You know, definitely. And give it enough time, it'll balance out.
What does a day look like for you on site?
A day for site on me, typically to be usually doing a frame or something, usually have 3 to 5 blokes underneath me, just going through, and some days it's, you know, putting out spot fires, other days it all just clicks and it just runs smooth. But a normal day for me is up about 5:30, in the car at 6, about an hour to work, 7 o'clock. It'll usually be, you know, if we're framing, we'll be flicking out at that point, or, you know, we're starting some trusses. You know, you're just kind of getting your bearings for the day, giving everyone their roles. Like, you know, you might want this person up on the top plates and you might want this person going back through and clipping off the frame stuff. And you just sort of negate that a little bit, make sure you have enough hardware to push you through for the day. You know, you don't want to get to like 9 o'clock and then, I don't have any coil nails left, or, you know, something like that. Just little things like that. Try and get on top of those things early. Any problems for the day that you can see, you know, identify them, bring them up, get that sorted with as soon as possible. You know, whether we're, I don't know, might be doing trusses and it looks like the speed brace has been knocked off or something. You know, I'll just ring and check that, you know, there was this many lengths of speed brace delivered and, you know, we're probably going to be short. We'll need a bit more, and give the other people involved in the process as much time to react. Mm-hmm. And then from there on, it's just putting it together. Yeah.
Wet slabs and chalk lines don't go together. What's your trick there?
Flick out on the dry days. There's no way around it. It's just, it's hard. It's hard because it's just winter framing. It is winter. You just got to pick your windows. Yeah.
Get the afternoon there before. And
have you ever been on a slab and you've got like a squeegee or whatever and you've just got it all dry and it starts fucking raining again? It's
yeah. It's almost like you bring the squeegee out and the rain comes back.
Yeah.
Probably
look like a maniac sitting there like screaming at the screaming at the clouds. But
I've ruined so many chalk lines over, you know, wet slabs. I'm just like, this one's dead. Let's go. Yeah. It's not the Japanese Tajuma. It's the
I save that for the nice ones.
Save that for the nice ones. Yeah.
It'll be the Milwaukee or the Irwin one or something.
Yeah, the Irwin one. Yeah. The black chalk everywhere.
Yeah.
We talked about the flow state. We're having a coffee before the podcast. Like, how do you explain the flow state to someone that doesn't understand what it is?
I'd say, for me, flow state would just be when it's like you talk telepathically to each other. Like, you just know that if I'm lifting the wall up, I'm going to need a prop to go in the guts of that. And while you're doing that, someone's grabbing the concrete gun ready to pin it down, whilst another one's grabbing the level to get rid. Like, it just clicks. It all works. You all know your role. You're not working over the top of each other. You just, you know, you're filing in behind each other where you need to. Those are the good days. Yeah.
Those are the great days.
Yeah.
It's so hard to explain that to someone that, you know, maybe isn't in construction or hasn't experienced it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I would say
it's like merging traffic without having to tap the brakes. It's
correct. It's like a symphony.
Yes.
You know, and those days to me seem to go so fast. You get so much done.
Yeah.
And more often than not, the people that you're working with, you're talking about everything but the job.
Yeah. You don't talk about work at all, but you get a lot done.
Get a heap done.
Yeah.
How do you get into the flow state when you haven't been in there for a while?
Oh, it's a good one. I feel like we haven't been in there for a while, to be honest. The current crew that we have is just haven't been able to make it. Just haven't been able to make it click. Like no one's dragging the chain as such or anything. It just hasn't clicked. You know, I feel like it's just an experience thing. You just do something enough, and you're bound to work it out. You know,
is that so? The crew you're working with, are they? Have you been working with them for a while, or is that sort of a new crew to 2026? Or
some of them are new, some of them are fresh, and some of them are old. A lot of them have come across from other employers, so you know they're bringing things that they've been taught and trying to integrate it into our systems. And you know, you get that from 1, 2, 3, 4 angles, and then you've also got a core group that have been there a little while as well. It just takes a while to figure it all out.
It does.
Yeah.
How to working with that person next to you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the all-star basketball teams, you know, the reason why they don't always kill it is because they're not in that flow state, and they're not, you know, a team, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
They're a team of
That's
individuals.
very true. Good way of looking at it. Yeah.
But once that all clicks, everyone generally on site knows that's been the day where it's like, okay, we're good now.
Yeah, you know you've had a good day.
You know you've had a good day.
Yeah, or like it's 10 a.m. You're like, we are rocking today. Like it's,
That's such a good feeling though, isn't it?
It
Once
is.
everything clicks.
It is. Yeah.
Where were we? I'm getting so caught up on the flow state. I've lost where we were. Let's talk about the hard days and burnout. Have you had any periods where you're just out on your feet and you're just behind the 8 ball? How have you dealt with that?
Probably everything other than work gets me down. Like there was a period of time there where we were building our own home, and our first daughter was only about 6 months old, and it was COVID was happening. It was when like everything was getting shut down and you couldn't travel around and all the rest, and prices were getting jacked up with everything. And then you throw work in on top of that, and I was just a stress head. Like I was just that was probably my hardest time I've ever had in life, is dealing with that. And I was literally in the trenches. Like our house had these meter deep footings, and it was raining, and like I'm literally in there with a torch at like 9 p.m. like scooping this sludge out of the bottom of the trenches because I got an inspection tomorrow.
You're literally in the
I've
trenches.
also got to be at work, and it's like, oh man.
How did you get through that time?
Honestly, probably not in the best way. Like just pushed through, ignored my emotions, ignored the signs, just angry, stressed. You know, wish I'd have done it differently. Definitely. Yeah.
And you look back and you go, oh, I should have made a different decision there, right?
Yeah, should have made a different decision. Should have not been so hard on myself. Should have just had a chat with people about it. Mm-hmm. Like just ring a mate up and say, I'm having a prick of a time right now. Just
Is that what you would have done differently?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, yeah. Just probably listen to myself a little bit more. Like, don't push through for the sake of pushing through. Like, if you don't get it done today, do it tomorrow. You'll be fine. Yeah.
It's hard to do that though when you have high standards and you want things done now.
I'm a hypocrite because I don't live to that standard now. Like I still want to do everything now. But, you know, if I was going through a time like that again, I think I'd have that hindsight to be like, look, just it'll be all right. Yeah.
What's the hardest lesson that carpentry's taught you over the years, do you think?
Oof, I really thought about that. The hardest lesson.
So no one warns you about when you come into carpentry.
Probably how much of your life it actually consumes. It is a lifestyle. It's not just a job. It's which I think I was kind of ready for a bit because I just had such a passion for it. But probably just how much of it actually consumes. It's not like any other job where you can just truly go home and switch off. Like you're sort of just always thinking about it a bit. We all become tool nuts. So you're thinking about tools, you're looking after your tools. It's all a little bit more beyond just 7 to 4 job.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
I work on my house on the weekends, and my wife, I like to be like, I'm working all the time, If I'm not working at work, I'm working at home. She's like, but you really love working at home. So
yeah.
You're always busy because you want to be busy.
Yes.
And like that's pretty true.
Yeah.
I like to be
working with my hands and outside doing something or tinkering away. You know?
Get out of this bloody office.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But it's never really a switch off. It is a lifestyle.
Even just like down to the car you drive, that'll be centered around your work.
Definitely.
You know?
What would you do if you weren't a carpenter?
In the trade space, probably a plumber. I think. I think that'd be cool. I don't know. Don't really know why, but I think that'd be okay.
Could you think of another career path that you'd ever look at going down?
Oh, I've never considered it, man.
It's not even a thought that's coming to your head.
If you could be like, you know, like you're at primary school, what's your dream job? Race car driver. Absolutely. Love cars. So maybe something around that industry, whether it's like a mechanic or a, you know, not quick enough to be a driver, so you become a pit crew or something you know, something like that, but definitely something around motorsport, I reckon.
I like cars, but I hate working on them. I'm no good at it, and I don't.
I'm a tinkerer. I'm like a from my wife's perspective, like an annoying tinkerer. Like I'll go at the shed for a bit and then I'm gone. I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you what I did. Like it's just always fudging around with something. But
on tools, walk me through your current tool setup. What are you running? So we just said exclusive. We're on DeWalt.
Yes, we're on DeWalt now.
Fantastic.
Yep.
What does your setup look like? You're in a changeover at the moment.
Yeah, well, currently getting the stuff sent out to me now, so I've still got my Makita stuff, but
what do you take to work each day? What do you 100% have to?
Everything, man. Everything. Yeah. I think because we do such a broad range of carpentry from like flick out to fitting door handles and everything in between. You know what it's like. You need everything, you know. And because I live about 70 k's away from where I work, I can't just like duck to the shed or duck home and grab something that I'm missing. Like I have to have it with me. So I take the full suite of everything. Yeah.
Do you have a welder with you?
No.
No welder.
Because I don't want to touch steel. If I had a welder, you can guarantee I'd find something that I have to do.
Yeah. That's a true carpentry answer, 100%.
Yeah.
I want my chippies to know how to weld, just so the fact that if something goes wrong,
yeah,
they can pick up
that's fair.
They can pick up a stick welder.
Yeah.
I do like doing our own sort of structural steel as well.
Yeah.
I think that's
it's definitely probably a skill that'd be wouldn't be too many downsides. So at least knowing how to do it. Yeah.
As far as that goes, you know, just to get you out of trouble. I don't want you, you know, welding up portal frames and doing this and doing that. You know, it's just to get us out of trouble.
Yeah.
What's a small detail on site that drives you mad when it's done wrong?
Cleanliness. What one person's interpretation of clean is usually not my interpretation of clean. Like I like sites to look like immaculate, and someone else might think that pile is like that's clean enough because it was this and now it's this. I'm like, yeah, but if I want a bit of 90-45, I've got to lift 6 sticks of 140 out of the way to get to it. Like, you know, stack it in its members, make it all. I was never really taught anything like that too. Like it's just something that I've liked for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more efficient that way.
I believe so. But at the same time, it's like, it is very nitpicky. You know, like, I don't stack the timber like that, stack it like this. It's like, well, it's still stacked. Probably get over yourself, Sam. But
yeah, but I think there's reasons behind it. Easier to get to, looks better. For me, it's
easier to know.
Easier to know.
It's like, are we going to run short on that? Well, hang on, I'll have a look. No, yeah, we'll be right. Or, you know, it's kind of hard to look at a mess and it's like, oh, there might be some 140 in there. Maybe if I dig through it, you know.
Absolutely. You seem like the carpenter too, that you'll know where every single thing is in your trailer at all times.
Everything has a place.
Yeah.
And if it's not in there, I'll look at it, I'll be like, where's that?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, no, it might be still up in the trusses. Yeah. I'm like, how'd you know that was missing? I'm like, I know where everything goes in here, man.
You can walk over there blindfolded and done.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's a trait that only the best of the best carpenters have.
Yeah, I agree. I think maybe not necessarily the best of the best, but it's a bloody good gauge onto, you know, if someone's setup's like that, it's very rare that they're going to be a hack. You know, they're going to be pretty good.
They're a craftsman, in my opinion,
Yeah.
The same with, and tell me, what do you think there's some other traits of really good carpenters?
I reckon the ability to work with anything. So just... you can throw them in the deep end. They don't panic. They don't stress. They don't freeze. Like they just get to work. They start working it out, start figuring it out. Like I feel like that's a craftsman for sure.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely a good one.
Yeah.
I think as well, the way that they handle a circuit.
Yes. Yeah.
If you can see someone that's really, really confident with the circular sort, generally they've got a clean trailer and they're a rock star chippy.
Yeah.
They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that comes to mind for you that are traits of really good carpenters?
Problem solving. Problem solving is dead as far as I'm concerned. Like it's probably didn't talk about it enough, but there's just this massive gap between workers who are able to follow instructions and then probably you put them in the craftsman category where they can just solve any problem. You put them in any situation. Each people will perform to their own abilities. Some might pick it up like that. Some might take a couple of hours to get their head around it. But the people that can problem solve are they're this much far ahead than everyone else.
And what that looks like in reality is a problem arises, they already have 2 or 3 solutions and working on probably a third and a fourth solution.
Yeah, and able to action them. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
They can be dropped into, as you were saying, dropped into any situation and come up with different solutions to work.
The SEAL team.
SEAL team, that's right. Yeah. I think that's probably a characteristic of being a good carpenter. You know?
I think so, definitely.
Even being a good tradesman. Like I've noticed some good electricians and some good plumbers that have been able to come up with some really cool solutions to some difficult situations,
Yes. Yeah.
Everything can be done if you think long enough about it.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
What's a piece of work you're proud of that most people would walk straight past? So I'll walk past one of your frames. What's something I wouldn't notice but you're really proud of? You mentioned all your stuff, plumb level square.
Yeah.
Is there any little signatures that you do on the frames that you put together, or the claddings, or anything else you do that I know Sammy did that?
One of my little signature things is when I nail the bird's mouth for truss, I don't know what it is. I've just got this ability to smoke that little bit in the gang plate where the head of the nail goes through the gang plate and actually holds it down. You can just do it every single time.
Yeah.
So it's not actually splitting the timber itself. Like, the nail goes through the head. This is such a geeky detail. I'm talking about them. This is fucking ridiculous. But I don't know. I just have that ability. I see other people do it and they'll shoot this way, and it'll be split. Mm-hmm. Never happens.
Bang, bang. Is it the way you hold the gun, you reckon?
I think so. Yeah.
They're the things that you can't really teach people either. They've got to see you doing it.
And you'd argue makes absolutely fuck all difference.
It does,
but
it matters because it's not a split timber there.
Yes.
You're not going to get the inspector come past and be like, hey, there's a split there.
That's probably a little detail that I'm like, I can get that right 99% of the time.
Yeah, that one's for all the nerd carpenters.
It is,
Because I think that stuff's important,
Yeah.
And those little details are what make you a good craftsman.
Yeah. Probably nail placement if you had to generalise it. Just even the nailing studs. Like I see so many people and they're lightning quick. The nails are this far apart. Your stud's just going to twist. I can be a little bit slower, but get them, 20 mil up, 20 mil down, bang, bang. Every time. Yeah.
And those little details in my mind are important. And consistency, I think, brings speed. Consistency brings speed.
Yeah, you're right.
You know exactly where you're putting that gun, bang, 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 bang. You're almost like a robot.
Yeah.
But all your nail heads are the same.
Yeah.
All your junctions are the same, X, Y, and Z. And I think that it's probably good advice to young carpenters to try and come up with these systems and processes that you can follow.
It's all in the details. It's all in these little things that, set you apart.
Quickly before we go on to the quickfire round, what are some systems and processes that you've got in place to make your life easier on site that you can think of?
This probably isn't the answer to your question, but lead from the front. I would never ask anyone that works underneath me to do something that I know I'm not capable of doing myself.
Yeah.
And if I think, that's a problem, I'll work through it with them. I don't believe anyone should ask anyone. It's probably a little bit different when you're talking a bigger organisation. But, when you're just sort of an in-house carpenter, working with the same people every day, I'd never, tell a bloke to go up to the top and nail off that speed brace if I wasn't physically capable of doing it myself.
Yeah.
And I feel like leading from the front and pulling everyone else along is way better than sitting at the back and pushing them.
100%. You know, I think you definitely have to lead.
I feel like that wasn't the answer to your question, but
no, but it sort of is a little bit in that. What I was thinking about was, I think the most that I learned, and still today, on site, is by seeing other guys do something, not actually being taught something, just by looking at the way that they do it.
Yeah.
And I think it is an answer in that you see a gun carpenter and the way he nails off, or the way he puts speed bracing on, or the way that he, whatever he does.
Yeah, your methods and your systems.
The methods and the systems,
Yeah.
Like nailing a gang nail off, if you haven't done that before and you go and see someone, bang, 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 and how he holds the gun and exactly how he's doing it, where he's standing or where she's standing.
Yeah.
I think those things are important.
Yeah.
And, that's why it is an apprenticeship, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And you need to have that time there, because you need to visually see how other people do it.
Yes.
From the way that they hold, you hold a pencil, or, there's all these little things that you don't actually teach the people you're working with. They see you do.
Yeah, pick it up.
Yeah.
They're like sponges. Yeah.
Like marking out, I was marking out flooring the other day with my wife, and she's like, why do you put the little tick on the side? I'm like, because I've measured from that way.
It's an industry standard. You have to.
Yeah, but I thought about it, and I'm like,
no one taught you to do that.
No one taught me to do that. Yeah.
Just,
But there's those little systems and those little tiny things that, unless you're really thinking about them, like, do you take, when you cut and you mark, do you take half the line off, or do you take half your mark off, or are you?
No, I'm on.
You're on the.
Yeah.
On the. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Controversial.
I don't know. I generally, I think I take half my mark off.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But yeah. That I just came to my mind when I was just talking. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, we're on to the quick fire round, which is never actually quick. What's one tool you couldn't live without?
Hammer. Have to be.
Have to be a hammer?
Yeah. It's the first tool you go through.
What hammer?
I currently run a Kinetics Customs one. I'm nearly
titanium?
No, aluminium.
Aluminium.
Yeah, it's a bougie hammer.
Bougie, yeah.
E-swing would get it done as well.
Get it done as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think everyone starts with an E-swing.
Yeah.
And then they move on.
Yeah. I had one for a long time. The handle snapped.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it was an aluminium one.
Mm-hmm.
Lasted me a long time. I was rough guts with it, so it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But got the Kinetics Custom one. I just couldn't justify like $700 for a titanium one, even though I swing a hammer all day, every day. I was like, that's a lot of money for something that just hits a nail.
It is.
I couldn't justify it.
I've got an E-swing and I love it. I got the leather handled one.
Yeah.
Thrash it.
I had the leather handle one. That was my first one. Yeah.
But yeah, I can't. I like to wait, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And when I picked up those titanium ones, they're just too light for me. I feel like it's a kid's toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are nice and light.
They look too pretty as well.
Yeah. That's all it is. It's just a pretty hammer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's nice to have.
It's a nice,
not essential.
Not a need to have.
No.
What's the biggest myth about carpentry that you want to bust?
Biggest myth about carpentry that I want to bust? That you got to be an idiot to do it. There's always a huge stigma that, tradies are dumb. You got to be pretty bloody switched on to be good at what you do in this industry. Absolutely. Yeah.
You got to know what you're talking about. You got to know the standards. You got to know.
Yeah. There's a lot to know.
There is.
There's a lot to actually know. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Oh, it's so common, isn't it? That you drop out of school to get a trade because you couldn't hack it. I'd argue that a lot of tradesmen that I know are the smartest people that I know.
I'd agree with that.
Maybe that says more about my friendship group than anything.
I'd agree with that, though. I've seen some really good carpenters that are some of the smartest people that I've met.
Yes.
And that complex.
And to look at them, they wouldn't look like they'd have two bob to rub together.
Correct.
But for a fact that they've done very well for themselves, and that they're like the craftsmen. They'd be able to fix anything.
And they love it.
Yes.
They absolutely love it.
Yeah.
What's one thing you would fix in the industry tomorrow if you could? In the construction industry, that is.
We talked about this. I would introduce more inspections at critical stages. Yeah, I feel like that'd clean the industry up overnight.
Yeah. You reckon that's an insurance policy for bad builders to keep them honest?
Yep. The good ones don't have anything to worry about.
That's
the bad ones should be sweating.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the best advice that you've ever been given on site?
Best advice I've ever been given on site. I would say get comfortable being uncomfortable because you're never going to learn anything inside your comfort zone.
That's a fantastic one.
Yeah.
I really like
Absolutely. Yeah. I actually say it a lot. A lot of people, I don't know, they just have this thing that apparently I'm really, really good walking on a roof, on a top plate. And I believe I am, but a lot of people must struggle with it. And they're like, how do I get better? I'm like, you got to do it. Like you're not going to practice on the ground. Like you've just got to get up there. You got to shit your pants. You got to get up there. You got to be scared of it, and you just got to keep doing it until you get better at it.
I think when you stop thinking what happens if I fall, that's when you can just realize, hey, I've got a job to do up here. Let's get on with it.
Yes.
And you I don't know. It's like subconscious. You trust yourself to navigate around the roof.
You just get better at it.
Yeah. And you'll fall off one day.
Yeah, you will.
Right.
You will. Yeah.
Hopefully you land on your feet.
Yes.
This is probably a long one, but what advice would you give your first apprentice self, first year apprentice self?
Oof. I would say learn your values early. So whatever that is to you. So for me, it's doing things right is huge for me. Being reliable is, I would, if I've ever done anything that's questioned my reliability, it eats me. Like I hate that. Yeah. I'd say work out your values early and stick to them because you can be quite easily influenced by other people on site that have, perhaps they're at the end of their career, they don't really care about it anymore or something like that. You don't want that to rub off on you. You want to work out who you're going to be, what you want to do, work that out early, and stick to it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Stay strong.
That is a good one.
Yeah,
I think that shows through in you today, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your favorite thing to do outside of work?
Time with my kids. That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about, man. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to do with the kids?
Just activities with them. They're girls, so they love colouring and they love their pretty things and stuff like that. Just those wholesome sort of fill your cup activities.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm into bike riding at the moment with my two young boys.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good to have that switch off too,
Yeah.
And I think you need that to come back firing at work,
Yes.
You've got to fill your cup up at home so that you can hook in when you're at work, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good one. Who should we get on the podcast next? Who are your recommendations?
Go Hopkins Construction.
Hopkins?
He deserves a flight. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, go him. He's got a cool story. He's done a bit of everything, so.
I like his kit.
Yeah.
His kit's mad.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I wish does he have an online shop? Because
he does. He does, yes.
Yeah.
You can support him there, yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
I've got to reach out to him. There's a few guys down in Victoria that, are doing such good content and are such good blokes. And everyone I've, obviously had Joel up here. I've been speaking to a couple of other guys down there.
Yeah.
We're all pretty cool down in Victoria.
You would have seen the Wandering Chippy.
Yeah.
Andrew. He's got a heck of a story, man.
Yeah.
He's been to the rock bottom and pulled himself back up again. It's very inspirational what he's done with his life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah. And funniest guy you'll ever meet me.
Yeah.
You'll spend the whole time just laughing.
A lot of people messaged me when they saw you were coming up.
Yeah.
And they said the comments, nicest bloke you'll ever meet.
Oh, it's nice.
Best bloke, Yeah. So yeah. And I'd have to 100% agree with those guys.
Thank you.
You've been so awesome to talk to, and I like as much as I'm a nerd about carpentry you are.
Yeah.
I froth it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I have a little tear because I don't get to do it as much. I just have
yes.
Yeah.
Get your fix elsewhere.
Get my fix elsewhere. Yeah. And watching your content.
Yeah.
Speaking of, where can people follow along on your stuff? You're on Instagram, you're on TikTok, you're on...
And Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah. Sammy_Aitken for, Instagram, Sam Aitken 2 on TikTok, and just Sammy Aitken on Facebook.
Perfect. Yeah. Sammy, thanks so much for having you. It's been a fucking awesome chat.
Pleasure to be here.
Mate, do you have a quote to finish us up on?
I've got nothing for you. I've got
You're
nothing
all done.
special. That's it. That's it.
All good.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
All right. Cheers, man.